less clunky, but end of the day, the result is what I was most interested in, and that was putting the Trailblazers on the right path.
Sean kind of got ahead of my question, but similar to that, what are some things, like what's the biggest takeaway you learned from the last few months this summer? A lot happened. For you, what's the biggest thing you learned?
When you're properly prepared and if your process is strong enough, and in this case, our process was strong in that we just worked it so hard, and stayed patient and stayed consistent and really explored the marketplace. But I think what stands out is just that diligence that over the course of those 3 months to just stay dedicated to finding the best deal, plural deals, in our case this time. But I would say just that diligence and that, dedication, focus on that, that grind of it all.
Joe, can you give us some insight on how you're thinking about Malcolm's future with the organization, and has he passed the physical, and was there any contingencies along those lines?
So physical the guys, both Robert and Malcolm are flying to Santa Barbara tomorrow. So we'll do the physicals tomorrow night and maybe into Wednesday morning. So little unknown on that. Not too concerned though. But player-wise, want to have Malcolm come in and be a part of this and get going in training camp and join this team and do his thing. He's obviously a really capable player and could bring some good on-court intangibles for us, but also as a veteran, as a leader, it's something we're going to need. We have 4 rookies, 2 second-year guys, a very, very young roster that I'm trying to be careful about. I said I did this last year, and it's true, we were too young last year. We're even younger this year. I want to make sure that there's enough veteran leadership around these guys, so that Chauncey and Jerami and some of these, any of the older players we have don't have to carry that whole load. So we're very open-minded to Malcolm.
Joe, as a clarification, when you were talking about that conversation with Damian, was your sense that he was open to rescinding the trade request completely and returning here and playing out the rest of his contract here? Or did you feel like it was something that would be hanging over the team as kind of a soft standing trade request, or that was going to be something you guys would deal with going forward?
Yeah, I thought it would be consistently hanging over our heads, that he still wanted, this trade request was still active, and that wasn't going to change.
What do you think is the relationship like between the Blazers and Damian Lillard now, and what do you hope it looks like throughout the rest of his career and then beyond?
I hope over time that I hope the relationship gets stronger and stronger over time. It's hard when it happens, like in the moment. I don't know if it's ever super pretty, but I hope that there's not enough, baggage left over. I hope over time that, I know he loves the city and I know he loves this organization and the fans, and hopefully, he'll be able to be one with the organization whenever that next page is turned.
Joe, the transactions you conducted were teams that basically emptied out the entire kitchen sink. Every Phoenix were at second aprons, competitive teams. What have you, if anything, taken from that in operating on those set of deals, being on the other side? That's something you're going to have to build to in years, because one of the things you talked about was, out of the exit interviews, was building around Damian Lillard and being eager to make those transactions. Ultimately, you weren't able to. So kind of how do you take the lessons learned from the teams that did make those big transactions and empty out the cupboard?
Yeah. It's know who you are and own it. It's strike when the iron's hot. It's opportunity doesn't present itself very often. These teams, Milwaukee and Boston, they know who they are. They know what they're trying to achieve. They are in full go-for-it mode, and don't second guess, making aggressive decisions. We are here to win a championship, and we're going to do whatever it takes to do so. And it was fun working with those two teams through these deals, seeing that mentality and learning from that. And there wasn't much conservativeness there. They were very, very aggressive, and they know exactly who they are and what they want. And I think having that identity and accepting and embracing that identity is really important.
Hey, Joe. Question for you on just expectations. What defines success for you this season?
Daily improvement. This is going to be a group that, while very talented and very capable and hopefully incredibly fun to watch, they have a lot to improve on. You know, we're extremely young, as we've said, and it's also a group that hasn't played together for the most part. You know, I saw a thing later last week that Jerami Grant was our second longest tenured Trailblazer. So we've got a lot to work on. We have to build a connected group. We have to develop a lot of players. We have some guys that are going to take some time to grow into their own. So for me, it's really enjoying the journey, these day-by-day improvements, the night that we're really electric, where we see, okay, this is what we're capable of if we can put this together on a consistent basis. You know, and at the same time, always evaluating, what do we need, what can we do better, where do we have to upgrade, those types of things.
Joe, you talk about evaluating. You know, how do you do that with Chauncey as well? You know, he's a young coach, essentially, still only his third year. How do you evaluate him and making this group better?
This is such an exciting time for us. You know, finally Chauncey, he's got a group that is capable of playing the style of play that he wants to play. You know, I talked about this a little, and I'm sure he'll get into it. You know, the up-tempo, playing together, guarding, protecting the rim. You know, so now he'll be able to implement all of this. You know, we've got, you know, some talented guards that are going to need him. They're going to need his leadership. They're going to need his mentoring. They're going to need his voice. They're going to need to be challenged by him. And it's Chauncey's got such a good demeanor, and the players think so highly of him, you know, and his ability to both, you know, give them a hug and get into them and challenge them. And I'm excited to see him do this with not just our guards, but also, you know, guys like Deandre Ayton and Robert Williams, and, you know, to impact all of these, you know, semi-veteran guys as well.
As a small market team, Portland isn't necessarily in the national conversation all the time. You've spent 3 months now being in the center of the national conversation. What has this summer been like for you, having all eyes on you in that respect?
It was a heavy process. You know, it was a long summer for us. It was a lot of work and sometimes a little bit of heartache, but you know, for us, we were so results focused that, you know, looking back on the way the final deal went yesterday after the series of 2, and just looking back and reflecting on how the summer went, you know, it felt like a long one, but a productive one that was worth all that effort and all that noise and all of the, you know, bumps and turns and, you know, dips and ascensions along the way.
Joe, a couple things. First, just a housekeeping thing. Are there any injuries or anybody who's not going to be a full Gopher camp that we need to know about, or is everybody good? Everyone's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the other thing is, you know, you guys obviously were doing research into, you know, different guys that you were maybe looking at trading for. What's your read and just your sense of why things didn't go with Deandre in Phoenix, maybe the way that they hoped that he would over his time there, and what makes you think that it's going to be different for him here?
Sure. I don't know exactly why Phoenix chose to do what they did. I think if you ask them, they would tell you some of it has to do with cap management. You know, that becomes a big piece of this, especially, you know, as you start exceeding first and second aprons, you start losing your tools to enhance your roster pretty quickly. So I think some of that was just cap management stuff. I think sometimes also it's just time to try something different. And for us, that was definitely the case. You know, we wanted to try something different. We thought Nurk was incredible here, and we're going to miss him. But at the same time, we're trying to do something different here, and Deandre is a big part of us doing something different.
To follow up that, is there a sense that you guys can get more out of him? And then also, do you have a preference of what you like to see with the guards, the Ant, Scoot, Shaedon trifecta, who starts where? Do you care, or is that all going to be up to Chauncey?
For Deandre, it's just come in and keep getting better. You know, he's far from his peak at 25 years old. He's, especially with big men, you know, we say this a lot, that it takes them a while to get to where their peak is. So I think Deandre is at least a couple years from that, and I think this new team, this new experience, this new group will be really good for him, and the way we're going to play will be good for him as well. We're going to be really fast, and Deandre is one of the most athletic big men in the league, can really change ends. Obviously, really electric north-south, you know, and vertically. So couldn't be more optimistic about what he's going to give us, and I think he's incredibly excited as well. For the guards, yeah, it's all up to Chauncey, and I think he'll tell you it's all up to them. Come in and get it. You know, who's gonna come in and earn the spots, earn the minutes, earn the ball. And I think all three of those guys are up for that challenge, and I think it's going to be really interesting to watch it play out.
Joe, throughout the iteration of this franchise, there's always been a guy, the man, you know, be it Scotty, Zebo, B-Roy, LaMarcus, Dame. Who do you view as the man with this group?
I think it's a little like the last question, where it's come in and get it. You know, I think we have many guys who are very capable or talented enough to be the man. It's who's going to emerge from that, who's going to emerge not just in their play, but in their leadership and, you know, in their dedication to doing this the right way. So there's a lot of unknowns with our roster. And I think the only thing we, you know, are pretty certain about right now is they're just really talented and capable. The rest is going to need to play out, and that's where, you know, we'll ask for your patience. And I think most of you in here definitely get it, but these guys are going to need some time to figure all that stuff out, because that is an important question.
Joe, you've had an opportunity to have daily exposure now to Scoot, and I'm wondering what have you learned about him that you couldn't have learned just through the pre-draft process and kind of those opportunities to get to know him, but what has kind of stood out in these weeks he's been in town?
It's been really cool with Scoot, because he's basically been in Portland ever since Summer League. So, you know, we've had a good 2+ months seeing him pretty much every day. So I think what I learned, especially like the scout in me, is he's a better playmaker, he has a better point guard IQ, facilitator, get guys the ball mentality than I even expected. I knew he was really good at that, but he's really impressed me with his ability to get other guys shots. And you can just see how infectious it is. You know, not only do others want to share more, but guys want to receive more too, and Scoot's going to find you. Thank you all.
Coach, what's up, y'all? Chauncey Billups is here. He'll open, and then we'll take questions. Coach.
First off, I really I want to thank Jody for just her constant support. You know, she's been incredible. You know, this has obviously been a really tough summer, and different summer for all of us. So, you know, I know me personally, I've talked to her more this summer, and I'm sure Joe has. Her support has been incredible. Her support for myself, her support for Joe, her support for Dame, just her really caring about where our players were going, where Dame was going to have to go, where Nurk was like anybody that's put on and, you know, been invested into what we're doing. She's been so supportive. You know, we ask her for things, she never says no. I mean, she's just been incredible. And to me, not enough people talk about that. And so I really wanted to just thank Jody, for her support. And secondly, Joe, I think Joe did an incredible job, this summer, his patience. He was diligent the whole time, he wasn't reactive at all, he stayed disciplined to what we knew we wanted and needed. And I just thought, you rarely see big time trades go down where everybody made off and did well and feels good about it, Dame is in a position, I'm so happy for him and excited for him. He's in a position, he's going to be on the most talented team he's ever played on. Nurk and Nas and Key, they're again, the most talented team they've ever played on. Even Drew, not having to come here and play, with all these young guys at a time like that in his career. Him going to Boston, it's just been incredible, and then what we've, more importantly than all of that, what we've gotten in return. I just think what he did revitalized the organization. I really do. And I'm happy about that, so congrats to Joe as well. Anything, y'all can go with the questions.
Chauncey, you came here 2 years ago expecting to coach a team around Damian Lillard. 2 years later, the only player remaining, I think, is Anfernee.
Yeah.
But Joe talked about this roster maybe fitting you and your style better. What are you excited about? And are you pretty hungry to win after 2 years filled with purposeful losing at the end?
Yeah, I'm excited about all of it, to be honest with you. And sure, coming here, 2 years ago, it's kind of been like a total reset. What we tried didn't work. It's just that simple. It just didn't work. But I'm so happy about where we are right now. Joe and I spent so much time together of what type of team we want to have. Chance, what kind of guys do you need? And, quite frankly, everything up until the trade request was this: how can we do the best thing for Dame? How can we put the best team around Dame? And obviously, we weren't able to do it, up until then. And so after then, it's, all right, so where do we go? What do we do? I'm saying, Joe, if we're going to be young, we need to be able to play fast. We need to be athletic. We need to be, we want to play that type of brand of basketball. I sat in front of you guys all the time talking about how small we were, or how all of these type of things that we didn't have. I think now the best thing is we can just start talking about what we do have. And that to me is very exciting.
Talked with Joe about this team not really having a defined guy. And he said it's kind of open for competition. Do you see that as an advantage or disadvantage?
I think it's a great advantage. I think you got a lot of guys here that are wanting to prove who they can be in the league, so it's on me and our staff, to basically handle that, and make sure that we just don't have a guy that's so thirsty for that they're shooting it 30 times, like they're too thirsty to get it. That's not gonna happen, but I think you got a lot of motivated guys that are young, that want to prove who they are, and we're gonna do all of that, and we're gonna do it together. You're probably gonna have a situation where there are gonna be so many different guys night in and night out that lead the team in this or that, or But to me, there's so much beauty in that. You become less predictable when you have those type of teams, And I just always felt like when you are like that, and when the ball is really moving, you get so much more engagement from everybody, So I think that's an advantage, Jay.
But there's also, you played that part.
Mhm.
It's important to have that on the team. It's not have a guy.
A guy?
Yeah.
Well, we have guys. The truth of the matter is, none of our guys have been an all-star. We didn't inherit that, where it's like, all right, we went and got this dude that's a 5-time All-Star that we have to. No, we don't have that. Like we're gonna groom that. You know, we're gonna raise that because it's gonna happen. But I don't think it's a disadvantage at all. You know, and I heard Joe say this, but we also got to realize how young we are, man. You know, we're so dang young, man. It's gonna be fun, but there's gonna be some, you know, there's gonna be some tough, trying times out there because of our youth. But no, I don't see that as a disadvantage.
Chauncey, just kind of building on that, for really since the post-LaMarcus era, the offense is predicated on spread pick and roll with Damian Lillard. I know you want to have kind of you've talked about it in the past, kind of having that equal opportunity offense. You've got to have a framework, right, to kind of build upon. So are you leaning on Anfernee to kind of be your primary table setter to kind of get you into things when things don't go right? Is it, you know, looking at Ant and Deandre as your kind of spread pick and roll partners and then letting Scoot kind of work his way in it? Just kind of how do you see that building upon itself throughout the season as opposed to just throwing, you know, Scoot out there and saying, figure it out?
Yeah. Well, I think we, the entire NBA is pretty much, you know, it's a pick and roll league. You know, you spread the court out. Last year, you know, obviously having Dame, probably best pick and roll player in the league, and then Ant, you know, coming right on his heels. I think with Ant and Scoot now, I mean, Scoot's athleticism and his speed, he's going to cause a lot of problems in the pick and rolls, especially when you spread it out, his playmaking. He's going to be dangerous. So we're still going to be pretty much a pick and roll team. But obviously you add to that now. You got so many different players and, you know, big DA who you feel can take advantage of matchups sometimes, you know, in spots where he likes the ball. So for the most part, yeah, we'll still be a pick and roll team, you know, because we got to find a way that my whole thing about offense is how can we create the chase? You create the chase by pick and rolls. You put teams in disadvantages by using pick and rolls and getting downhill, and now teams are scrambling. Now you got to make the correct play. So the one way to create the chase is by being good in pick and rolls, you know. So we'll continue to do that, Danny, but we have the ability now, you know, to run movement sets and, you know, play. We just have so much more potential.
Does having that framework of not having a first ballot Hall of Famer allow you to have a little bit more freedom in trying some different things?
It does. And, you know, it makes you, it's a gift and a curse because having a guy like Dame, he's so great that at the end of games, not only does the 20,000 people in the arena know where the ball's going, the whole world that's watching knows where it's going, and he still can get a shot and he still can make it. Well, now we become less predictable. You know, I can run a play for whoever I want to now, and know when I run that play. For instance, if I ran a play last year and used Dame as a decoy and Shaedon got the shot and he missed the shot, y'all gonna be crushing me. You know what I mean? The world gonna be crushing me. But really, I'm just trying to maybe develop Shea a little bit. But it's like Dame is in there. Like, why wouldn't you? And it's fair, you know. But now, as growing these dudes and raising them, I can tinker with different things like that, you know. So I'm excited about that.
Chauncey, what has been kind of your read just from the outside looking in and watching it from afar about why things maybe didn't work out for Deandre in Phoenix, and what do you specifically think you'll be able to unlock with him here?
Yeah, I'm not sure what really happened there. I just know, you know, I always kind of have like a little unique perspective just because of my playing career. And then sometimes it's just time for change. You know, he was there in high school, he was there in college. You know, there's been all type of stuff surrounding his college time there. He's the #1 pick in the draft. His first year, he's on a bad team, and now they get these guys and they're the good. I mean, sometimes it's just time for change. And I think that was probably what happened with him, you know, in all honesty. And I know for me, I'm really, really excited about DA. I think that, you know, he was already a top 5 center in the league, and, you know, there's so many different levels that he can get to. You know, and that's something that we have to help him. You know, with all of our other guys too, we just got to help them. We got to help them reach their potential, and that's what, you know, that's my responsibility as a coach and our staff's responsibility to help him reach his potential. But you know, I'm very honest with him. You know, we're not bringing Deandre here for him to be Embiid, where we're gonna throw him the ball 30 times a game and say, all right, go be the MVP. Like, we're not bringing, that's not going to be his role, you know. However, he probably will have a more expanded role than he had in Phoenix. But again, like, we got a lot of young guys that are going to be trying to figure it out. And y'all know how I feel about connectivity and being connected and things. Those things take a lot of time. I mean, shoot, we got 2 guys that we traded for yesterday that won't even be there the first day of training camp. So it just takes time. It takes time, but DA is going to be just fine.
Kind of building off Sean's question, you mentioned that you emphasized connection last year going into training camp. What would you say is the theme of this year's training camp?
Well, for me, and you guys know this, I've been trying to, you know, I've been trying to build this culture of competitiveness, you know, my entire time here. One of the reasons why I'm so excited now is that we have had a reset, and now hopefully we can start getting some continuity. You know, that's the one thing we haven't had. I mean, I thought at the start of last season we were very connected, and then the injuries started happening. You know, we got off to a really good start, and then, you know, injuries started happening. We just didn't have enough depth, and, you know, it just hurt us. You know, it just hurt us. But I'm always going to continue to be on that. Like, I'm so competitive, and I want our guys to compete every single play, every single practice, to help each other out. You know, that's the only way you get the best out of each other. So that's the kind of culture that I'm trying to build. So nothing has changed with that. Obviously, the roster has. Nothing has changed with me. I'm going to continue to preach that. I'm going to continue for us to try to be the most connected group. But I'm also patient enough to know that that takes time. You know, it just takes time. And so we all have to have a level of patience with this roster.
A couple of guard questions for you, Coach. What's next in Anfernee's evolution as a player? What does he need to get better at? And over the past couple of months, what have you seen in Scoot Henderson that maybe you didn't know you were getting on draft night?
Yeah. Well, I think Ant, I've been so proud of his progression thus far anyway. You know, I thought last year he had a lot of struggles during the year, just really trying to learn how to play with Dame and deferring when he shouldn't have. And even Dame was telling him, don't defer to me, just play your game. But that's big brother, you know. So there's just this inherent thing that it was tough for him I felt it was tough for him to climb over. But he still has some great games, and I think is primed to really take his game to another level. You know, his confidence is just different. He's so much more vocal now. He's talking all the time. He's talking to Scoot like he's just different. You know, and I'm pretty sure it was bittersweet for him. You know, I can remember myself in my career when a dude that I looked up to and I played behind for a second was Terrell Brandon. And then we played together. I played, you know, backed him up. He went down and got hurt. And it was bittersweet for me, but I was also like, shit, it's my time. It's go time, you know. So I'm guessing that's probably how Ant feels a little bit. I don't know if he will express that or can't even express that. But that's how this NBA is. You know, that's how it is. So I'm excited. And, you know, with Ant, you talked about what things that I want him to work on and be better. Just his playmaking, him reading the game, him knowing when to attack, when to facilitate. He's going to be out there some with Scoot, some with Shea, like, you know, knowing the difference, you know. So just things like that it'll come and it'll be fine, and I'll help him with it. And as far as Scoot, I'm with Joe on this. I didn't realize how good of a playmaker he was. I knew that he was explosive and tough and competitive and all of those great things, but he has a feel about him, about his game that, he has a way of, he's so competitive and he's always trying to win. He has a way of like bringing you with him, if you will. For a young guy, that's not easy. But he does that. He can get to his spots pretty easily. He can really guard, He'll learn a lot of tough lessons this year, just by the way he's so competitive and he's gonna want to guard everybody and it's gonna be some tough nights, that I'm gonna have to let him go through because that's how you learn. But he's been a dream, man. It's just been beautiful being able to watch him and teach him and watch film with him, and it's a lot of fun.
All right, we got a couple more before the next player comes.
Chauncey, past couple of seasons you've talked about learning to be a head coach, but with this group, do you feel this is kind of what your coaching style fits? Teaching these young guys. Do you feel comfortable like this is where you feel most at home teaching some of the next generation?
I feel good teaching anybody, but I think when you get guys that are very young, that are coming into the league, and let's face it, every player wants to impress their coach. I've been there, I've been on the other side of that. I wanted to impress my coach. So the players, they try to do anything you ask them to do when they know it's important to the staff. I'm really excited more than anything because when you try to start building a culture, you have to really kind of talk about how you want to play on both sides of the ball, type of personalities that you want on the team, type of egos you want on the team, and then you have to find a way, which is the hardest thing, is to go get those guys. And now we've done a good job, of acquiring the type of players that we want here, and as a coach, a young coach like myself wants to pour into and be a part of. So I'm excited about that, but it's not like we're this complete team and ready. We're young. This is a first step. We're off to a really good start. So yeah, I'm really pumped up to have these young guys to be able to, bring something very exciting to the fans.
So we've been talking a lot about fresh starts, building blocks, and kind of taking a 30,000-foot view. Trailblazers fans in the city, I think, are kind of mourning a little bit of a sense and kind of just feeling this, end of an era a little bit. And you have so many young guys, and you have such opportunities for connection here with the city and further out. What's your philosophy with that, with these young players, as a young coach yourself, with this just ripe opportunity you guys have to really connect in a new way that you haven't before with your fan base in the city?
Yeah, that's a great question. For me, like I said, I'm happy that me personally, I've went through the 2 years that I went through. It's prepared me, for this moment to be able to. Now I really know, like coming in my first year, you don't know what you don't know. I now know what I didn't know, and I know how I want to do things, and the messaging for my team, the messaging, like I understand it now better than I did, even last year. And so having these new guys that will, I'm sure, ingratiate themselves with our fans and you guys, being able to get them off on the right track and learning the game, how it should be played and played the right way. People take for granted that people know what that even means, that some of these players don't know what that means. A lot of these guys that come into the league, they've been the best player on their team since they were probably 15. And now you come into the league and you get here and you're not the best player no more. So you have to learn how to play with other really good players. And the coach and the staff is not going to cater to you like the high school coaches did, the college coaches did. Like there's some learning curve here that I can help them with because I've been there before, So I agree with you. This is a tough kind of day and season because it is the end of an era with Dame, and we all got to be just so thankful, you know, that we were able to be on that journey with him and see him every day. I only had 2 years of it, but you guys have had a longer time, and just be thankful about it. And I'm sure all of our fans, secondarily, will be Bucks fans this year, you know, hoping the best for Dame until hopefully not when he comes here. But that's how this NBA works. That's how it is. Shoot, one day, hopefully Dame got a statue outside of this facility. You know, he earned it, you know. So, but that's a great question, though.
I'll have to end it on Jason.
Coach, does Malcolm's presence affect Ant's role as a point guard?
I don't think so. Malcolm is I know Malcolm very well. We spent time together. I mentored him a little bit, trained him a little bit, so I know him. And I think it actually does the opposite. I think that he's going to be very beneficial to Ant, to Scoot, to Shea. And it's always good to have a guy like that when he can still play. I remember being kind of like that when I was older in the league, but I wasn't that good anymore, you know, so I got to tell you. I can't go out and show you and compete against you. So to have Malcolm, you know, at this stage, I think he'd be beneficial, you know, not only to them but to me, to us. He's just a grown-up, you know, and we do have all these young pups, and we got these kids that are very young in the league, and you need some grown-ups around them, you know, that can help them and show them. And Malcolm is the perfect guy, you know, so.
You can go through a game playing 3 different point guards?
I think Malcolm, like Ant, can play both, you know. Yeah, of course I can.
Just one more quick one. I remember early in your career here, you kind of lamented that not all these teams are playing above the rim with their big men, you know, dunking and stuff. And you guys didn't have that ability. Now you got 2 big men who largely play above the rim. What does that do for your offense?
It's big time. It's big time. I think in the league today, when you can space the court and you have point guards that can get where they want to go, when you have bigs that can put pressure on the rim, put pressure in the paint, it breaks down the defense. You know, if you don't tag that guy, he's catching a lob or he's dunking it every time. If you do tag him, your playmaker is kicking it out for shots. So, I mean, we by far have the most athletic 2-5s, you know, as a combo in the league, and we will, you know, teams will understand that when they play against us, you know, on both sides of the floor. You know, we're going to put a lot of pressure on the paint on the offensive end, and then defensively we're going to try to protect the rim. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
DeAndre, good morning, DeAndre. Why do you see this as a good opportunity for yourself?
New beginning. I get to show the world, show you guys who I am as a player, on and off the court when it comes to leading, especially helping young guys on this team win. teaching them how to win, teaching them how tough it is to win in this league as well.
There was a video of you making a tour of the facilities, and you said something about, I felt like I just got drafted again. What did you mean by that? And do you feel like you have just a sense of renewal coming here, leaving a situation that got kind of a little weird for you?
Just the way I was welcome, you know, and things happened so quickly. You know, the trade happened, and I was done on the jet, headed here to PDX, and, you know, it just felt like I got drafted, and I was, you know, on the jet to my next city that I was gonna call home. So, you know, walking in there, seeing my name, seeing everybody around me, some of the facility people and some of the front office people in the front just, you know, showing me love as soon as I touched down. And, you know, it really did feel like I got drafted. I felt the love as soon as I walked in, and I was, you know, welcomed humbly.
Basketball-wise, you also feel like this is a fresh year?
Most definitely. Like I said, you know, coming on a fresh team with a bunch of young new guys and, you know, me having a little bit of experience, you know, I can help them, you know, just teach them how to win and teach them how difficult this is, you know, to win in this league and how you approach it.
DeAndre, you know, how much does having those young guys energize you a little bit? I mean, is it, I know you've only been here a little bit, but is it different energy than kind of where you were before?
You know, just hungry. You know, you can tell that they're eager to learn. Coach Billups, you know, he has those guys' heads on their shoulders where they're coming in on off days, you know, just handling business. And, you know, guys who've been in the league for quite some time, you know, they are a little hesitant with things like that. To see some young guys who barely have a year under their belt, you know, just come in and take care of business on off days. And off season is, you know, it's pretty cool to see, because, you know, that's the type of energy I'm on. You know, it don't matter how young we are, we still have to handle business.
DeAndre, Coach Billups was just talking about how they're not going to give you the Joel Embiid treatment where they're going to dump the ball into you 30 times, but he does expect your role to grow, and that seemed to be something that you wanted in Phoenix. Kind of, what do you expect your kind of role to be on this team, not just as a veteran player amongst a bunch of young guys, but just kind of the ins and outs on offense and defense, is kind of where you kind of see yourself fitting in and taking advantage of situations?
Well, mainly just establishing myself, you know, to let the team know that they can trust me, you know, whether it comes to patience, you know, with our young guys, and, you know, just being that example setter when it comes to defense, and, you know, being a vocal point where, you know, I can just lead them and not, you know, give them constructive criticism, and, you know, just helping them and being there for them, and, you know, understanding that, you know, the things they're going through, I'm going through as well, and, you know, just guide them and just be there for them. You know, I have guys that's been there for me, and, you know, guys that were on me, so I think I know the terminology and how to pick people up and know my personnel.
DeAndre, this whole summer, obviously the Dane trade talks were kind of an ongoing thing for 3 months, and, you know, over the weeks there were different, you know, iterations of it that involved you. Like what kind of, you know, communication or heads up did you have, either from the Suns or from your agent, or just kind of the whole process of when did you kind of know like Portland might be a possibility, and what was that whole process like for you?
I mean, on the day of it, you know, I think midday, my agent called me and that was it. You know, the GM for the Phoenix Suns came and brought me upstairs and told me that I got traded here, and then that was it. You know, I thank him for handling it the way they handled it, and, you know, just accommodating to my wishes, and here we are today.
You mentioned a fresh start. What's the biggest lesson you learned from Phoenix that you're hoping to kind of implement in this new chapter in your career?
Win. You know, every game counts. You know, win. And understanding that, you know, this is a team's game. You know, we need everybody on the team to contribute to just get one win, whether it's in the regular season or the postseason. Just understanding how to win the right way, and, you know, just, you know, what are we going to be known for in this league, you know, when other teams play us.
DeAndre, you're just 25, but you're a leader, right? You're a leader on this team now. You're one of
Correct.
the older guys on the team. Are you kind of embracing that leadership role?
You know, I've been embraced it, you know, even when I was on teams with guys older than me. I feel like, you know, I've told them constructive criticism, and in the heat of moments, you know, I've had my times where I had to speak, and, you know, everybody's, you know, talking when I speak, and, you know, just times where it's a respectful thing, it's a respected thing, you know. I put in work, I put in the time, and, you know, there's times where you do have to say certain things for, get your point across the right way, to get the job done. We're on the same team we're on the same mission to get the job done. So that's one thing I can say is, just being that vocal point and consistently just, saying the right thing, no matter the moments.
Hey, Deandre, welcome to Portland.
Thank you.
Curious about if you have any stories or experiences of coming to Portland over the years that may have stood out, or whether that's the fan base playing against the Trailblazers, and also what your message would be to fans.
Yeah, I definitely know the fan base out here is phenomenal. I definitely came out here and got my ass whooped a couple times by a 40. So I definitely know how the fans can get, when they're turned up. So that's the fun part. The fans is all in it, and we the show in town. So I'm gonna try my best to do what I can to just give you guys the best of me.
DeAndre, obviously this team, there's a bunch of young guards. How do you go about helping those guys kind of develop chemistry with you? Obviously you're going training camp. How do you kind of develop those guys, help them?
Yeah, and need some big guards as well. They're not no little guards. These dudes can, they're pretty big. I'll say, just guiding them and letting them understand the physicality of the game. Creating chemistry through play. We have a big training camp coming up. I think that's going to be a mental thing. Just giving them certain terminologies that they'll use in the game. Coach will be on me on the defensive terms on how I must go about things, and just all of us just working together. We all young, none of us know it all, and that's the fun part about it. We're young and we get to learn, but we're very hungry, very.
DeAndre, for people that aren't familiar with you and your game, can you just kind of sum up what you bring to both sides of the floor and to the team in general?
Dominance. I bring dominance. My name is Dominating. I play with a lot of passion. You guys can tell. A lot of grit as well, but, I try to take the hypocrisy out the game where, I'm telling my teammate one thing, I'm doing the other. I'm more like a team player who, I'll take the sacrificial. I'll make the sacrificial decision and take myself out. And, less shots for me, but, when it comes to winning, I'll be the down and the gritty guy to get the job done, close out possessions, and, just take the blame on things like that.
DeAndre, for all your domination, if there has been a criticism of your game, it's been your motor, and that sometimes you're not as consistent as people want you to be. How do you counter that, and why do you think that is?
It's not countering anything. Look at the position I was playing in, the environment I was playing in. It can sometimes put toll on your mental. To be honest, I think I checked every list in the box, so a motor should not be anything of that. I've accomplished a lot of things where my motor is not a question. Playoffs, no matter what it is, I play the best I can play. I play hard as I can play. That won't be a question at all. That's one of the reasons why I told you guys this summer that I'll be changing the narrative. I'm with an organization that wants me and wants me to succeed. So there's a lot more passion when you feel that mentally, and you're seeing that physically as well. So it would be a lot more grit and a lot more domination this year. All right, thank you.
right, everyone. You have questions for Mike. Let's do this. Questions for Jerami.
Jeremy, just sort of your reactions to all the changes this summer. Obviously, you kind of knew that this could be the way it went. What was your reaction when it finally went down?
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot. It's a part of the business, though. Got to keep moving forward regardless. We lost a lot of big pieces, but we also got a lot of big pieces as well. So definitely looking forward to, making it work. So.
One of the main reasons you came here was because of Damian. So just what is it like for you seeing all this change over this past year? You came here mostly because of him, and now it's kind of your team in a weird way.
Like I said, it's definitely a shock. It's definitely different. But it's a part of the business. This is my 5th team in 10 years, so I'm accustomed to change, and you just got to make things work. And I think Joe and Jody been doing a great job of putting other pieces around to allow us to be successful. So I'm fine.
Jeremy, kind of a two-parter in the sense of you're now one of the elder statesmen on the team. That's kind of a transition for you. You've talked about you've been with multiple teams over your career, but now does it feel like your role has changed as far as expectations, as far as mentorship, as leadership, and maybe not necessarily fitting in, but being a part of that top-level structure? Kind of what does that mean to you kind of heading into this season, and how are you going to go about doing that?
Definitely. I definitely think my role has changed from what it was before to being more of a mentor and a leader to these younger guys. So we have a young team. So me being one of, if not the oldest player on the team, it's different for me. But at the same time, it's part of it. So I'm gonna embrace my role and do whatever I can.
Jeremy, what or who excites you the most about this team?
I think we have a lot of exciting pieces. I think Ant has grown a lot. Excited to get to play with him again. Matisse defensively, and then all of our new guys that we got, and Robert Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, Deandre. I think I'm excited about a lot. So looking forward to hurry up and getting this started.
What does the addition of 2 athletic centers like DeAndre and Williams do for you and your game?
A lot. Having 2 athletic centers that can, do virtually anything on the court. It's huge. I think it's huge for me defensively, being able to, funnel guys down there, knowing somebody, down there, ready to have your back on the defensive end, and then on the offensive end, just knowing that, whenever you get in trouble, you can throw it to the big guy. They can do what they need to do to get a bucket. So.
Jerami, one of the things Scoot has said since being drafted is that he's ready to be a leader now, despite being young and despite being new to the league. As the resident graybeard, do you see that in him, and do you think that even though he doesn't have the experience that you and some other guys have, that he can be the leader of this team as a rookie or really soon? Definitely.
I think he has a natural leadership to him. He's a natural leader. So yeah, I definitely think he has potential to be that, pretty early. But we want to make it easy for him. We don't want to, put too much on him right away. But he definitely has a natural leader role in him. So I'll definitely look forward to that and him growing into that position.
I was going to ask about Scoot.
He took your question.
Jeremy, obviously in Detroit, you kind of saw, a bit of a younger team. DeAndre talked about how this team, some of the young guys seem like they have their head on straight, is kind of what he said. They come in ready to work. Do you kind of feel that with these young guys, that they've kind of got a little bit of different attitude?
Definitely. yeah, most, if not all, I think all of these young guys definitely got their head on straight, and I definitely think they understand that they got to work in order to, you know, stick in this league. And I think it's not something you really get with a lot of young guys. So I'm definitely looking forward to, you know, helping them to grow into the players that they're going to become.
I guess I'll just ask you how the dad life has been treating you so far.
Amazing. This is amazing. I love being a dad, new dad. So getting used to a lot of different things. So adjusting in that area in life as well. So.
Jerami, how do you feel about playing the 3?
I'm fine with it. 3 or 4 doesn't really matter, especially in today's NBA. A lot of teams go positionless, other than, you know, 1 and 5, pretty much. So, yeah, don't mind it.
And is that something that has been broached to you about this year?
Yes. Yeah, they asked me, and I kind of give the same answer. Doesn't really matter. Wherever you put me at, I'll figure it out.
So I'm going to ask you the same question I asked Coach. Really big opportunity for you and the team to connect with Trailblazers fans and really connect with the city and build something new. How do you really see yourself leading this team on and off the court and doing that and really building a new era for the team?
Yeah, I think for me, just want to help, you know, to create a culture for the young guys so that they can, you know, continue to grow in the right way. So whether it's, you know, pulling guys to the side, you know, making sure they're doing what they're supposed to, but also on the court, like just instilling confidence in everybody, making sure that everybody's feeling good and having fun and also doing the right things in order for us to win.
Do you feel that with the big contract comes a big responsibility? And also, how would you and how can you develop your game to what the team needs and the next step in your career?
Definitely. With the contract comes a lot of responsibility. And being an older guy on the team, or I don't even know if I'm the oldest, one of the oldest guys on the team, I understand, you know, my role shifted from what it was before and what it would have been to what it is now. Just, you know, mentoring, you know, everybody and making sure everybody's in the right spots and doing the right stuff.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah. What was the end? I bet. I'll talk to you later.
I think Brogdon's got it.
Brogdon's got it.
But other than you're number 2.
You got me right here. Cool. I'm not. Make fun of him when he get in here.
So next, Anfernee Simons. Anyone want to start us off?
Hey, Ant.
What's going on?
Coach kind of described it as a bittersweet, you know, type of off season with Dame leaving. You know, obviously that's big bro, but at the same time that also kind of opens some things up for you, opportunities on the court. So I'm curious how you balance all of those emotions and what your expectations are on this season.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, you know, when somebody like Dame leaves, it's made a big impact in your life and in your career. It's definitely, you know, hits harder than maybe, you know, any other teammate leaving or anything like that. You know, it's just he was like kind of like the last one, you know what I mean, out of the group. And so now he just turn the page and move on to new journeys. And you know, I'm just excited about this year and the opportunity that I have. And you know, like I've said, each and every year I'm gonna, you know, take advantage of the opportunity that's ahead of me. So I think it's no different for this year.
And when you take a look at this, you're now the longest tenured Blazer. So you kind of go
crazy.
from being the baby to
That's crazy.
being the longest tenured here. Kind of what does that mean? I mean, technically, Dame's kind of handing the mantle off to you, and it's up to you whether you want it or Scoot takes it or whoever. What does that kind of position put you in right now? Is that something that you want to take that mantle to be the next guy after Dame?
I mean, for sure. I think, coming into the NBA, that's kind of like the dream. You know what I mean? Being able to be the guy on the team and, the man that's out of you and your teammates as well. So, I just take it along as a challenge and just a step into, a new direction in my development as a player, as a person, and in my life in general is, kind of turning the page and becoming, who I want to become and reaching my potential. So I see it as just another step in the journey, for sure.
Anfernee, you played probably your best basketball January, February of 2022 after Dame went out. And you talked last year about sometimes struggling to figure out your role next to Dame. Now that he's gone, do you feel like you're ready to return to that guy and take over this team and basically run it at a high level like you did 2 years ago?
I mean, yeah, I think, each year comes with new, obviously new opportunity this year. And it's also going to come with new struggles as well. You know what I mean? It's going to be different from last year. It's going to be different from the year before last. I think each and every year is different. But like I said, I feel like I'm well prepared for it. Obviously this year is going to be, a big step in, who I am as a player and proving who I am as a player. So I'm just, excited for the opportunity and be able to show, what I can do at a full, my full self.
Anfernee, I think we've all gotten snapshots of kind of the potential of this team, from Shaedon's dunks in games and Scoot at Summer League and stuff. Can you maybe paint us a picture of what the runs have been like, and have you ever kind of just stepped back and
I think sometimes I kind of get caught up in actually the moment of playing and stuff. I don't really take a step back, but once afterwards I kind of take a step back and kind of realize what's going on. And obviously we're playing. We're a very youthful team now, so we're playing at a fast pace, and we want to play at a fast pace. So it's just fun. You know what I mean? Just whether it's Scoot bringing the ball down the court, Shaedon, and they fast guys that can get downhill at anytime they can or want to, and they just making plays from there, showing their athleticism, showing their ability to score and pass. And so it was definitely, looking back on it, was definitely a fun time because I've probably never played that fast in the NBA. Obviously we've been playing at a slower pace my first 5 years in the league. So I think this year is going to show, just another way that we can play that we haven't been playing.
Has there been any memorable moments though in these runs in September or anything?
Memorable moments? I think everybody showed, all the young guys showed exactly what, why they're here. Everybody had their moments. Scoot had his moments where he was getting downhill, making plays, making a lot of different passes, winning the game for his team. Shaedon obviously, scoring the ball with ease. He's just naturally talented and can make the games look so easy. With whether it's shooting the ball or getting to the rim, making it, dunking in the middle of the lane. Chris showing that he can be a consistent player each and every day, doing his job. Ryan is there, picking guys up full court, showing what he's there for as well. So I think everybody showed different glimpses of what they can be.
And as the guy that's going to be running a lot of pick and rolls with him, what's been your thoughts on the Deandre Ayton addition, what that's maybe going to be able to unlock for you and for the team?
No, it was obviously, DA is a great player, #1 pick in my draft, and he's just a man amongst boys. I think he's easily one of the most talented bigs in the league, and he can provide a lot for us, whether it's on the offensive end or the defensive end. He just gives us a different level of, ability to play any type of defense or, do different things on offense that, make us hard to guard.
Has he played? Has he been out for you guys?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Just wanted to know what your reaction was to seeing Damian in a completely different jersey.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. It didn't look right at all. Like just from the first look, but obviously, change comes with everybody has to deal with change at some point. Whether it's you guys dealing with changing your lives, and even with Dame, being seen in another jersey other than a Portland jersey. So it was definitely didn't feel real looking at that, see him in the Bucks jersey. But I'm just hoping that he gets to achieve the goals he wants to when he goes over there.
And the things that you've talked about, each year you've come back and added something a little bit new to your game, whether it was, working on your ball handling, working on playmaking. Kind of what was your mindset and your goals this summer as far as like what you were going to focus on, what you were going to improve on, knowing the likelihood of Damian Lillard getting traded and you having to assume more responsibility as a primary ball handler?
Just in general, I feel like, last year taught me so much on how, teams, guarded me sometimes and Dame sometimes, where they were, denying full court, not letting us get the ball and kind of disrupting us. So I think this year was more of just being able to handle the constant, being denied with the ball, getting bumped and being trapped. And so now I'm still finding ways to be successful and making sure I'm durable for the whole game through that. Because obviously it's easy to get tired, when they're bumping you the whole game, denying you, you're trying to get open each and every play. So just trying hard to deal with that and, getting better in that space. And also just, stepping into more of a leader role, obviously, making that come out of me, being more vocal about the things I want to get done and want to do. So other than that, I think, every summer has been the same for me in general of, how I approach each and every summer and work out, whether it's working on ball handling or shooting, continue to get better at my shooting, shot making, and passing the ball as well. So I think, this past summer was I would say a pretty good summer.
Hey, Ant, so you talked about DA on the defensive end. Obviously, you guys are a very young team, so eventually down the road, what do you think your identity could be on that side of the court?
I think especially obviously now we got Robert too. So I think that those two, I don't think we've had that type of interior presence in a long time. From obviously from the starting and however they set the lineup up. But two bigs like that, being that dominant in the paint and have that much of a presence defensively, I don't think we've had that in a long time. So, I'm just excited, about it. And obviously somebody like DA is, like I said, he's, one of the most talented young bigs in the league. And I think he's, pretty experienced, obviously playing in the finals. And so he can always teach, the young guys about, anything that he's been through. And also Robert, he's been in the finals as well too. So they're young, but they're experienced as well. So I think we kind of got the best of both worlds when it comes to that. Thank you.
Questions for Matisse?
Matisse, with so many changes, again, you, like Ed, are going to have a bit of a veteran feel to a lot of the young guys, even though you're not in your 30s. Kind of, number one, how do you kind of go about that change in role for you? And number two, have you had discussions with coaching staff and kind of where you're going to kind of fit into things, either as a starter or coming off the bench?
Haven't had those talks yet. I'm sure that will come during or after training camp. But as far as being a more veteran player now, I think for me the biggest thing is just being available and probably in my case having to be a little bit more vocal. But I mean, I have 4 seasons under my belt now, and for me it feels like a pretty solid foundation of knowing what I'm doing out there, or at least pretending really, really well. And yeah, so for the young players, for me, if I see something that I can help them with, just being willing and able to step in. And then for me also just continuing to learn.
Matisse, what intrigues you about this roster?
This is my first time playing on such a young team. So for me, it's a new experience. And with that, there's a lot. So I wouldn't say there's any one thing. I'd say the potential for the speed that we can play at is probably intriguing to most of us here. But yeah, probably that's going to be a lot of newness.
And can you explain why players generally like to play fast?
I don't know if that's always true.
I
We want to play at
speed.
I mean, I played with a player who liked playing really slow for 4 years.
As a defensive guy, though, what are you excited about in terms of Deandre and Robert?
Yeah, I mean, having shot blockers is game-changing for players like me because there's this idea that you have half a defender with you at all times, with as far as your teammates playing in help positions, and with the way I play defense and trying to funnel guys into uncomfortable situations where they turn the ball over or take bad shots, it makes it a lot easier having big presence at the rim. So for me, it's great. Like, I'm super excited to, like, if guys want to get crafty and think that they're going to blow by me and then have to meet one of them at the rim, like, that's great. I'll go pick the pass off from when you try to bail out of that shot. So for me, it's very exciting, and I haven't played with either of them, but have played against them quite a bit. So it'll be fun to have them on my team this time.
You mentioned being available, like as your sort of role as a leader. What was it when you were young, maybe your first couple years in the league, that you feel like either you benefited from people in that position, or that you maybe didn't have from people in that position?
I think for me, one of my vets was Tobias Harris, and his willingness just to share. I think up front it was nice just to know that somebody cared enough to pour into me, and then down the road it helped to know I had a safe space to go to with any stupid questions. Because oftentimes as a rookie, you don't want to make a fool of yourself, or you want to at least present as if you know what's going on and what you're doing. And 90% of the time you don't, because this is brand new and it's a level of basketball you've never experienced. So to have someone who's done it and been through it that can talk you through it, and also it's safe enough for you to ask the questions that might seem really stupid, is a really good thing. So, I mean, for me, I would love to be that for any of these young guys, because I know how much it did for me.
What have your impressions been of Scoot so far?
Very fast, very strong. It's been fun to watch him navigate different styles of play, just as we played a lot of pickup and the teams have shifted every day basically. So with each team comes different dynamics. So to see how he's able to respond to having different teammates has been really fun. And to his credit, he's proven to be pretty dynamic as such a young player. And I mean, it's cool to see, and I think it'll be fun for all the fans and all of you guys to see once it's showtime.
Matisse, you were pretty excited to play here with Dame. Dame is excited to have you. You guys share an agent. What was the whole situation like for you as a person sort of watching it all go down and seeing Dame leave?
I mean, it's a business, right? Like I ended up here because of the business of basketball, and so I understand it now a little differently than I might have before I got traded. And I mean, also just to speak on like peace of mind, like even for me signing this contract this summer, until I had it signed, it was actually quite stressful. Just not knowing where you're gonna end up, not knowing what you're gonna make for how long. So for him, I feel bad that it took so long to have to just be like unsettled for that long, not knowing where you're gonna land. I hope like it works out. Obviously, like you always want to see players end up where they want or where they can be the most effective. It leaves us with like like we've been talking about, a really young, a really fast group, a group that can build. And I think for me, being here, that's my main concern.
You mentioned being unsettled before, signing a contract, having it be stressful. You come here mid-season. I'm sure it was a bit of a whirlwind those few months. Just what has it been like for you being able to kind of set a little bit more roots down here, especially in an area of the country that you already have some roots in?
Yeah, I found a place to live last week, so I'm really excited about that because, I mean, I've been joking with friends. I've been living out of duffel bags since February, so to now have like a place where I can put my stuff and have my things and start to settle in is very, very exciting.
All right, last one.
What are certain elements to the game you personally worked on this summer and that you think you can bring to a team than a coach that has showed you they have a bigger role than what you played so far in Philly and last year?
I think my role is the same on any team in the NBA. I think what's different here, or the opportunity I've had here, and what's been different in my past is the involvement I've been able to have offensively. But at the end of the day, what keeps me in the NBA, what got me here, is what I do defensively. The things you do better than everyone else are the things that get you here, and like those things don't change overnight or in a year. So for me, it's always just been to continue to do that well, continue to do what I do better than everyone, and then just build on the things that I want to improve or the things that need to get improved. So shooting for me is a thing that was a problem of opportunity, and then when I got here, the opportunity showed itself, and I think the numbers also showed in my ability to do it. And then now just having an off season under my belt where I got to put in more work to continue to improve on that, I think this season will just be yet another chance to prove it some more.
The early ones
I will have Shaedon Sharpe next. Oh, wait. A little behind, but not too bad.
Pardon me. Yeah, we'll prop part. Okay.
Questions for Shaedon?
You've seen Scoot probably way more than, certainly more than us, but more than a lot of your teammates. What have you been impressions of him as a player, just playing with him through July until now?
He can really see the court. It's crazy because I was playing against him, 5-on-5, and the passes he was making, I was like, how did he see that? Because I'm there defending him, and I'm not even seeing that. So, he's a great player. Sees the court really good, and he's a great defender.
Biggest lesson you've learned from year one that you want to implement this year?
What I've learned from last year? Really just the pace of the game and the physicality. During the off season, I worked on, ball handling, my pace, and even different reads. So I really just, worked on all that stuff and, what I can apply to the game for this season.
Shaedon, what's it like for you you're only going into year 2 of your career, but you're now one of the longest tenured guys on the team because there's only four guys on the roster that were in training camp last year. So what's that kind of like for you being still so young, but also now it's so many new guys around?
For me, it's the same. At the end of the day, we just playing basketball. It's just newer guys. So, just playing with those newer guys, just, seeing what they like on the court, like what they like to do. But it's cool.
Shaedon, can you explain how or describe how playing with a guy like Scoot can make basketball more enjoyable for a player like yourself?
He's a player that, you know, likes to get other players involved. So, you know, just, you know, playing with, you know, a teammate, a player that, you know, likes to get other people involved. Everyone's touching the rock. And, you know, when we play like that, it's just fun basketball. So.
Shaedon, have you had an opportunity yet to talk to Chauncey about kind of what your role is going to be now that things have kind of cleared the deck for you and it's a new era in Portland?
I think he want me to step up. Since it's being my second year, just step up, being a guy that you know, can help the you know, the rookies out and you know, help them just off and on the court, and you know, just be a dog on the court and, you know, just play the game I know how to play.
Hey, Shaedon, do you have any specific goals for this season?
Specific goals? For me, it's really just the team, just, you know, win as many games as possible. Yeah.
Cronin and Billups both said that everyone's got to go to camp and try and get it, obviously, starting jobs, minutes. How are you feeling about the competition ahead for the minutes available at guard? And are you open to playing small forward? And does it really matter who starts for you guys at this point, or is it just a matter of getting a lot of minutes?
It doesn't really matter to me, for real. You know, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help the team. Playing small forward, center, point guard, shooting, it doesn't really matter. It's really whatever I could do to help the team.
How are you feeling about the competition?
Like on our team, I think we could really win some games. You know, I like what we got here. It's gonna be fun to, you know, play, and I think it's gonna be fun, you know, for y'all to watch. So.
How different is the energy around the group and around the gym when you're going to a year like this, where it's about building and there's a long runway to build, as opposed to maybe the urgency that you guys felt last season when you got here?
How different is the energy?
Yeah, the energy, the vibe, the feel.
The vibe is cool. It's cool. Cool vibes. So.
Does it feel different than last year, though?
I mean, kind of, just because it's my second year, I feel more comfortable. But, I mean, it's really just the same. You're just playing ball and just chilling with your teammates. So.
I think a lot of us understand that you guys will be fun to watch. Can you maybe put that into words or paint a picture of why you guys are going to be so fun to watch?
Paint a pit, getting stops, dunking, shooting threes, you know, excitement, energy.
I'm saying, like, based off of your experience of playing, you know, the runs that you guys have had in September and whatnot, you can see that there's obviously talent, right?
Yeah.
Can you maybe paint a picture of what you've seen that will translate for fans to see?
Paint a picture.
Describe.
Just winning games. Just winning games.
Have you been following the Canadian national team this summer? And is this a goal of yours to be a part of it next year for the Olympics?
I have been watching them play. You know, they did really good. And I do expect, you know, for me to play next summer with the Canadian team.
Throughout the last week or so, when all the trades were going down, it was continually reiterated that the Blazers, through the national media, that the Blazers are committed to their young core of guards. Just what does it mean to you to know that management really believes in this group that they have right now, and obviously really believes in you?
It means a lot knowing that, you know, the front office is with us, and, you know, trusting us to, you know, stay with it and play our games. It's exciting.
All right, any other questions? Thank you. Courtney, show some face over here.
Hey, how I look? How I look? I look good? Appreciate it.
Questions for Scoot?
No questions, perfect.
That was awesome. Might hear about the start.
Scoot, we've heard a lot about some of the runs that you guys have already had. What have those been like getting used to this group, seeing some of these guys, and then you've got a couple more still coming in?
Yeah, we have been having runs, and they've been going pretty well. They've been going really well, just figuring out what the coaching staff wants, and we're applying it every day. They want to focus on the pace, so I'm trying to push the pace every single time I get the ball, whether I get the rebound, whether I'm running to the corner. Really focusing on the pace and crashing and little things like that. That's going to make us a very good team in the years. So.
Scoot, with so many changes to the roster and how things are shaping out right now, one of the things Coach Billups mentioned is that there's an opportunity for a lot of you guys to take roles as leaders of this team, as faces of this franchise. Kind of in year one, what are some yardsticks, some markers for you that you want to accomplish to move your way forward, not only with this franchise but just your ability to lead a team going forward?
Yeah, like you said, there is a lot of opportunity. You're right about that. And I think my yardsticks and kind of pinpoints is, just finding who I am as a player, figuring that out. And right now I know what I can do, and I know I can do many things throughout the game. And I think my biggest thing is to push the pace and just be that vocal point guard, just be another guy on the team that's encouraging. That's always making sure I'm patting my teammates on the back, always making sure, we got the next play, we're good. Little things like that goes a very long way in the teammates and around the coaching staff as well and the organization. And so that's where I think I can really grow and be, that guy. And we have a lot of pieces. Like you said, we have a lot of pieces. But I think my main thing is to push the pace and get everybody involved.
Scoot, I'm curious where you find the joy in basketball. What is it about basketball that?
Honestly, I think the most joyful thing about basketball is the togetherness. Man, basketball it's a team sport. It's a team sport. If you're a one-man army, you can't win at all. And I think my biggest thing is I'm a winner. So when I'm with people that I love to be with, that's good vibes. I think that's the best thing about basketball and the sharing and all things teammates. All things team, and that's something that I love about basketball. And then the competitiveness that comes with it, man, I just love to compete. Like it's something when I get on the floor, like I said before, something comes out of me when I get on that floor, and I feel that fire in me. That's something I love about basketball.
Scoot, I know you had a little bit of a relationship with Dame before the draft and kind of dating back a couple of years when you were in the G League. Were you guys in touch at all this summer, or did you kind of try to leave him alone while this whole thing was going on, or did you talk to him about like the transition into the NBA or any of that stuff?
I don't think there was no me trying to leave him alone because of all this. Because I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, and I know that I learned that. But I was just focused on me and the team and the people that was there and on the court with me, every day in the off season. That was my main focus. Making sure we're getting better, making sure I'm watching film after practice, making sure I'm watching film with Poole and all that. So, it was talks, it was little talks like that, greetings or whatever, but it was no real too much communication there.
Scoot, a lot of your teammates have talked about your vision in passing in these runs. Where do you think you got that vision from?
I think I got the vision from football. Just my peripheral and all that, seeing who coming, back up, juke, or whatever the case was. But I've always been an unselfish player. Like I've always loved to bring them in and then kick out. That's always been my game. You can ask any of my teammates, whatever age group, whether I was 9, playing over my brother, whether I was high school, Ignite. That's always just been my game to create chaotic things and then spray out. That's been me.
What you playing football?
Running back. So yeah, I gotta be careful. Yeah. Running back and then wide receiver a little bit and then quarterback a little bit too.
Did you play all through high school?
Nah, I stopped in 10th grade. It was hitting too hard. I didn't get hit hard. I didn't get popped though. I was good. That was, I just knew that was in my future. So I'm like, yeah.
So on one hand, you missed out on the opportunity to work with Dame directly and learn a lot from him. But on the other hand, it frees up a lot of minutes for you to develop that way. How much do you think you'll miss not being able to work with Dame directly, but how much do you think you'll gain by having more opportunity on the court?
Like you said, I think I'll gain a lot just from learning from my mistakes. And then Chauncey, as a coach, I know he won't give me too many chances, but I know he'll give me a chance to learn and go through it. Especially from my first couple of games, I know he's going to let me figure it out myself, because he has that confidence in me and I have that confidence in him as well. But I will miss the chance to learn from Dame, but we also have Anfernee Simons and JG, guys that have been around him, guys that might not be Dame, but guys that know a lot and seen a lot throughout the season, through an 82-game season, and obviously they're playing this year. But, like you said, I think I'll miss that, but I won't miss the development on my own part.
Scoot, a lot of people are looking toward you to be the Damian Lillard replacement, the new Damian Lillard. Does that add pressure to you? Do you feel like that's pressuring you?
Just because people think I want to be the new Dame, I don't even think like that. There's no pressure. Like, I'm Scoot Henderson, so I've never been pressured like that. The only pressure that I have is from myself. The pressure I'm putting on myself to be the best version of myself that day, to maximize that day, and to go out there and kill my opponent, to go out there and just help my team out on the win. I don't think there's no pressure of me trying to be the new Dame. I'm not trying to be the new Dame. It's a new era for a reason, so I'm here to be Scoot Henderson.
Throughout the last week, multiple times it's been reiterated throughout the national media that this front office is committed to this group of guards and that nobody's going anywhere. Just what does it mean to you that this front office believes so firmly in you guys?
Yeah, that's it's kind of something that makes me want to go out there and work even harder. The fact that I have the organization believing in what we can be, and believing in our potential, believing obviously in our young core. But like I said, it just gives us confidence as well. It gives us a little more confidence that we know that, not that we're good, it's a business at the end of the day, but that Joe and Pat, they all believe in us. So it gives us a little more confidence going into things, going into little workouts, practices, games.
Hey, Scoot. What was it like to put on that jersey today, and what are you most looking forward to stepping on the court for the first time as an NBA player?
Yeah, the jersey felt good. You see the new threads, so it's tight on me. I like that, kind of pop my muscles a little bit more. But man, it felt good, to see my name. I was at the practice facility seeing my name on the little locker, but seeing it on the game time locker, it means something to me. Just thinking about who a couple years ago I was, in high school, a junior in high school. So, man, I always just give thanks to God.
Is this your first time in the Motor Center locker room?
It is. It's my first time here, actually. Other than, the rebound. Pre-draft, I went up there to get a little, some tests and stuff. But
Scoot, you're about to be in a fraternity of players that's entirely small in the history of the NBA. You're a rookie teenage point guard. There's only been 3 guys that have ever averaged 15 and 5 or better in Kyrie, in LaMelo Ball, in Stephon Marbury. How do you find yourself being able to not just find your way in the NBA, but be productive on the floor in the box court to where you're in that kind of category of player or better?
That was a great question. I think in that order, I just go out there and do what I do best. I don't try to do things that I'm all right at. I'm go out there and do things that I know I'm great at, and that's getting downhill. That's spreading the love. That's hitting the open shots, and then creating my own as well. But like you said, I'm not trying to be just a guard in the league. I'm trying to be one of the premier guards. So, and that comes with the work, and that comes with me just going out there and making sure I'm comfortable, how I'm playing, make sure I'm comfortable with the sets we run or whatever. But I think our pace this year, you won't see too many set plays the way that we're playing. So.
How you like Portland? What kind of vibe are you catching?
Portland, it's a great vibe out here. All the people cool. So far, they all it's all love. Everywhere I've been, it's been whether they knew who I was or not. It's always been like make sure I'm good. Like they'll like that's why I'm always giving tips. You know what I mean? So the people out here are welcoming, and you know that's all you can ask for from the city that you play in. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day. My mom and dad, they were just here. My sister, my brother, they here right now. Good idea.
All right, folks, next up we will have Jabari Walker. All right, folks, next up we will have Jabari Walker. Would like to start us off.
Hello, Jabari. You had a really good summer league again. What else have you been working on, and what are you expecting from this season?
Can you repeat the first part of that question for me?
About the summer league, you had a good run in the summer league, like you've had the year before. What did you take from that? What kind of stuff you worked on, and what are you looking for this season? It's your second year in the league.
Yeah, I think I just want to piggyback off of what I did for summer league. Some of the ways I impacted during summer league, I just want to bring that to the season. I want to continue to be a great person to the people around me. Just work on being poised, being patient, just a bunch of stuff pertaining to balance and just focus on being a better person, and then let that translate to being a great teammate and the person I need to be for this team.
Jabari, there was some stuff on social media this summer about you working out with Paul George and spending some time with him. How do you have a relationship with him, or how did you first get to know him, and then what was that like for you?
Yeah, we had the same trainer this summer, and we were in the same gym. So just he seen me working out, and he seen some of the things that I was doing, and he would tell the trainer that we were working out with that he liked my progression. He's kind of followed me. He told me, and he said he wanted to get a workout in, and so it was basically just like a teaching session, just him passing down gyms, and I think he was kind of attracted to how willing of a person I was to learn and get better. So that was a great experience.
Jabari, there's obviously been a ton of changes to the roster. Where you've been a guy since the second you got here who said, I know I'm going to be a role guy. That's how I stay in the league for 10 years. Where do you see your role changing or adapting, and where do you kind of see yourself fitting in, and what discussions have you had with the front office and the coaching staff about what your role is going to be this year?
Yeah, I think I don't know what the percentage is, but pretty much 90% of the guys in the league are role players. So I don't use that word to limit my abilities or what I think I can do, but just for this team and what they want me to do, I think that is mostly rebounding. Defense, my defense has gone up tremendously. I think I can guard the best player on the team we play that night, 1 through 4 that is. And then just knocking down the corner shots, being an outlet for these young, fast guards that we have. Just doing the stuff that contributes to winning, and then letting my role expand as I get older and get more trusted by the staff.
Jabari, the thing people keep saying is new era. It's a new era. It was an end of an era. Now it's a dawn of an era. It's a new era. How does it feel different to you? I mean, outside the obvious of who's here and who isn't, but what feels different about right now versus this time a year ago?
Yeah, we feel like faster. I feel like the pace is way faster. It's been, last year was fun, but I'm gonna be honest and say this year feels a lot more fun for me personally. It feels like I'm more involved with the connection with these guys. When you have a bunch of vets on the team, I feel like sometimes you could feel, okay, do we trust this person, or he's a rookie? Since we have so many young guys, it's like we're all in it together. They just pass the ball. They expect you to make the play. You give it back. It's gonna come back to you. It's just we're kind of all in this together. So seems more balanced. I feel like the drop off from the best player to, I guess what you would say, the last man on the bench is less significant. So therefore it makes us a bigger threat when you have a bunch of guys that can be aggressive, and we're all confident.
stretch five or a power forward? And what would you rather play?
I'd rather play power forward, but I think they do like me at the five. I can guard it. I'm very strategic in how I can score there. I like the pocket. I'm a good finisher. I can shoot the three, so that does spread the floor out for us. And I'm a good shot blocker, good rebounding. So it allows me to play that position if need be. But I am more comfortable at the four. I like that corner area. I like driving, closeouts. I like making plays. I feel like I've improved on that this season. And yeah, just I like having space and being able to read and drive on my own. So I like the four better, but I'm also comfortable with the five.
Any other questions for Jabari? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, we will have Chris Murray. First question.
Hey, Chris. Have you settled into Portland, and what's it been like to know all your teammates here?
Yeah, I feel like the transition's been pretty smooth. I felt comfortable here kind of right away. All my teammates have just kind of taken us rookies in and just kind of taking us under their wing and just helped teach us throughout this whole thing. And I feel like it's been a pretty smooth process for all of us and for me too. Just kind of picking up offensively, defensively, what we kind of want to do. And but yeah, I mean, I can't complain. Like Portland's it's been good to me so far.
Chris, I mean, this is probably going to be something that's going to get figured out more so over the next couple of weeks with camp and preseason, but have you talked to Chauncey or staff about kind of what sort of role you're expecting to have this year, or like how much you're going to play?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing in just my role is just being able to kind of adapt to it. I've been someone who's kind of found the role throughout college and then had a couple different ones then to now. It'll be different than it was in college, obviously, but for me, it's just be able to knock down open shots, play defense, rebound. Those are the things that will get me on the court, and just try to be the best I can be in those areas is going to help me.
Chris, Scoot talked about how, putting on the jersey was like a moment for him. Was there a moment, or has there been a moment where suddenly you were like, okay, I'm in the NBA, this is my job, and this is really cool? Was there ever that moment for you?
Yeah, I think it was, obviously it hit me a lot, especially when I got drafted. That moment's kind of surreal, but it definitely hit me when I saw my locker for the first time. Just saw my headboard on it and my name on the locker. I think that was just kind of hit home for me, that like I kind of made it. Something I've dreamed about this league. I've dreamed about playing this league my whole entire life, and just be able to solidify that was really cool.
Naturally, you're often compared to your brother, and he joined a team that wasn't doing well, and last season did very well. What can you learn from him, or what kind of discussions you've had with him to kind of better tune you into the league?
Yeah, for Keegan, he was the only rookie on his team last year, and he was able to kind of just learn from his mistakes. He had a lot of good veterans on his team to kind of help him throughout that. But something that I kind of learned from him is just to learn from your mistakes. You're going to have bad games, bad practices, but that can't be cause of effort. Effort's got to be there. But for him, he bounced back, learned from his mistakes during the season, and you kind of saw him progressively get better throughout the year. So that's kind of something that I learned from him, is just to stay consistent every single day in my preparation and what I do, and that'll help me in the long run.
Chris, we've heard a lot about this team's going to play up tempo and kind of get after it. How do you kind of see your role kind of fit into that style of play?
Yeah, for me, it's kind of similar to like when we were at Iowa. We were really a high tempo team. Would run the floor a lot. I played mostly the whole game at Iowa this past year, and for me, I feel like I'm in the best shape I've ever been in, just because all the running we've been doing, the tempo we've been playing at. So I feel like I've always been someone who's been in good shape, just be able to work through fatigue. That's kind of always been me. So I feel like it kind of fits like a glove with how I play.
Chris, with so much changeover and so much opportunity that's out there for guys, one thing Jabari has said is that, you know, I'm a role player and I want to be a role player. Like that's my lot in life here. When you look at things, do you see that as part of your career, or do you want to kind of take more for yourself to find an opportunity to grow your game beyond that and be a top 2, top 3, top 4 player on a team?
Yeah, I definitely think that could be in the future, but that's not the case now. So for me, it's just kind of being the best in my role that I can be. Obviously, everyone wants to be 1, 2, 3, 4 options on teams, but if you can be the best in your role, whatever that may be, that's what I want to do. So for me, it's always been impacting winning. That's something that I've always wanted to do, is leave a program and organization in a better place than when I got here. So I think that's definitely just something that that I want to do.
Any other questions for Chris? All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, folks, we'll have just a minute or two break, and then it'll be Ryan Rupert.
Repair up next in a few minutes.
Zero issues there. Now it's just that I'm fat, so we're yeah, no, hips. Okay, nice.
All right, who would like to start us off?
Ryan, the obviously the common theme of everything is everybody's very young on this team, and you're the youngest on this team. So when you look at where you are right now, kind of what are your goals for this season, and how you plan to kind of grow your game and your responsibilities and your role?
Oh, my goal for this year, at first, is to learn the most I can from my teammates, you know, the veterans, from Anfernee, Matisse, Jerami Grant, you know, all these players. Just learn the most I can, and just bring my energy on the court and off the court to the team. Bring my energy defensively, offensively. So.
Ryan, I know you've played professionally already, but how helpful has it been to you to have a sister who's playing professionally in America to kind of help you with the transition?
That's great, you know. I'm very close with my sister, so she just gave me a lot of advice all the time, so yeah, that's great.
Brown, with the scrimmages that you had all last month, and then just thinking about all the new pieces to this roster, what do you think the identity of this team could be?
We have a very young team. We can be very good defensively and in transition. We run very, very fast. So yeah, I think we will be a very good team in transition.
How would you define your game for the NBA?
I think I'm a versatile player. I can defend a lot of position. I can be the one-ball defender, off-ball defender, and offensively, I like to play in transition. I spend the most part of my summer in Portland to keep working on my super shot, to space the floor, so I can bring a lot of things.
Also, have you followed the French national team this summer? They weren't doing well, but they are hosting the Olympics next game. Is this a big goal for you to try and make it to the final cut for next summer?
Oh yeah, the French national team is very important for me. I don't know for the next summer, but yeah, for sure for my career, the French national team is very important, and I want to be part of this team in the future.
The Blazers, the team is going to play in 2 weeks. Your former team, the Breakers. What are your emotions about that? What do you remember from last year? And what are your expectations from that specific game?
It would be great, to see all my teammates again. We had a great season last year. We've been to the finals. We lost against Sydney, but yeah, it was a phenomenal year as a team. So yeah, I can't wait to see all my teammates again.
Ryan, have you had any discussions with Coach Billups and Joe Cronin just kind of about what your role is, whether it's going to be with the Blazers this year or spending some time with the remix, and kind of where you're going to get your development placed?
Not really, but yeah, I think they just want me to learn the most I can, keep working on all aspects of my game, and as a young player, I know if I want to earn my minutes, it will be by my defense at first. So yeah, I'm very focused on it.
Folks, in just a couple minutes, we'll have Toumani Camara.
So yeah, the seasons don't match up. So in soccer, you know, they get the seasons to kind of match up because they're already playing with the European season. So when the young ones play, they finish like right before the draft. But they don't play. They don't play the same time. So any season like that is not going to ever work. The NBA guys aren't going to want to play once the team does each rock.
Folks, we have Toumani Camara up next. You keep that on. It's a little chilly. Who would like the first question?
You've learned the business of the NBA pretty quickly. What has the last week been like for you?
It's been a little crazy. It's been very good though. I mean, I'm still in the NBA, still living my dream. So just a different city, different scenery. But yeah, just very excited to get it going and get on the court.
I know you worked out here before the draft and got to meet people in the organization. What were kind of your thoughts about Portland and about the Trailblazers at the time, and then what was your kind of reaction when the trade happened and you found out that you're not going to be in Phoenix, you're going to be here?
I mean, the workout that I had here went pretty well, and the people that I meet was also very open arm and very kind, and I think that was probably my first impression just about how nice the people here are, and also when I came in, it was kind of making me think about kind of like a little bit about where I'm from, about Belgium a little bit, just whether it's the weather or the green, a lot of trees and stuff like that. So yeah, just I mean it's a nice place to be, and when the trade happened, I was just, shocked, surprised, just didn't expect it. It was not even something that was crossing my mind just as a rookie, I think, just being so much into the work and to going to the gym and stuff like that. And then one day just everything changed. So it's just about adaptation and just get used to your new environment. And I think that's something that I've been doing well throughout my career. So yeah, just like I said, looking forward to it.
How much have you had a chance to, meet Deandre and kind of play with him at all, maybe, and what are your kind of first impressions of him?
D is a great guy, got a lot of energy, a very positive person. I've been around him for probably like a little less than a month when I was with him in Phoenix, and just got to know him, got to know who he is off the court and everything. So we haven't have much time to like play together, but it seems like a great guy, and I got to know him a little bit, and yeah, I think we're gonna get along just fine.
Toumani, for those that didn't watch you play in college, what can you give people in Portland kind of a sense of your game and what you hope to bring to the team, and what you and Coach Billups and Joe Cronin have kind of talked about bringing forward for your career?
I think right now it's just the player that I am is just the way how hard I play, just my energy all the time, just being able to guard multiple positions, play multiple positions, defense and offense, and just play winning basketball. I think that's one of my biggest things. I love winning, and whatever the team needs me to do at the moment, that's what I'm gonna do. So I think I'm a simple person on the court, and I just can do a lot of different things. And yeah, just what the role that it probably want me to be is the same role that probably Phoenix wanted me to be. Just be myself and just being able to adapt to a new situation and adapt to a different situation that I'm gonna be put in the game, whether it's guards or guard bigger guys. It's just being able to be versatile and do a lot of different things offensively and defensively.
What would you say the strengths of your game are?
I think it's just how competitive I am. It's just the fact that I'm able to do multiple things. I think maybe my greatest thing is probably my defense. It's just probably being able to guard multiple positions, and offensively, just make the right play and make open shots.
How much do you think you being an NBA player contributes to your future career with the Belgian national team? On one hand, you are an NBA player, and there are not a lot of Belgian players, but on the other hand, your playing minutes probably won't be great, and you can't make the FIBA windows throughout the year.
I mean, that means a lot to me to be able to represent my country and put Belgium more into the light and more into the map. So, I mean, trying to change the game of basketball is also something I want to do back home and have an impact in that. And if I'm able to do that because of my stature, because of who I am today, like you said, an NBA player, I think that's something that I want to do. And play with a FIBA team is definitely something I want to do throughout my career. But yeah, like you see now, there's a lot going on for me individually. So I'm just trying to adapt to my situation, and then when's the right time being, I'm gonna be playing for Belgium for sure.
Kind of sticking with that, obviously Belgium not known for basketball. Dayton, more of a mid-majors school. Portland, a little bit smaller market. I mean, is that something you kind of carry a chip on your shoulder a little bit, kind of represent, I don't know, the little guys in a way, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's something throughout my whole career I've been through. Just having to prove myself, having to show what I'm capable of doing, and I mean that's just I think part of me now, and try to create that career that I always been dreaming about. I think everything starts now today. So, and yeah, I'm able to put Belgium on the map, being able to put my family out there, and be able to show what I'm really capable of on the highest stage of basketball. So, just very looking forward to it.
Any more questions for Toumani? Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, folks. We will have Kevin Knox up next. Would like to get us started.
Kevin, what were the conversations like with the front office over the summer about maybe coming back here or finding something somewhere else?
Yeah, it was with the whole Dame trade and everything, kind of had a lot of talk stalled this summer. But the front office was, they was really happy to get me back. They wanted me to come back. They felt I ended the season really well and just wanted to build on that. And we got a young group. I fit the timeline. I'm a little bit older, more years in the league, so just being a little bit more of a veteran. So that's kind of one of the reasons why they wanted me to come back.
Are you under the impression that this is a camp invite where you're going to be competing to make the roster, or that you're going to be on the roster?
Yeah, no, we're fighting for spots, fighting for minutes all season long. I know going into camp, I got to play my best basketball, go out there and prove I deserve to be on the team. and just go out there and do what I do best.
Kevin, what did you kind of like, at the end of the last season? What did you like about your game? What do you think you improved and showed in those minutes?
Yeah, man, I had a lot of fun the last few games of the season. Had a up and down year last year. Got to play a little bit with Detroit. Then the trade happened. When I first got here, we was fighting to make the playoffs, but when we didn't, a lot of younger guys got opportunity to play. It was just something I really needed. So I think it was really fun to get out there on the court. I learned a lot. Got to be able to watch a lot of film. And be able to learn from that. But I really just, wanted to go out there and have fun and be able to get to know the guys and build chemistry.
What would you say it is about your game that kind of fits this crew? Wanting to play up tempo, a lot of playmaking. What do you kind of feel you fit into that?
Yeah, Chauncey's been preaching pace this whole summer, and that's something that the team we've been doing all summer, just playing as fast as possible. Got a Scoot. Scoot's probably one of the fastest players in the league. He's a rookie, and so we just got to play to his speed, play to his pace. My versatility, I think, can help the team out a lot as well. So, something I like to do is play fast. I've been doing that since at Kentucky, high school. When I first got to the league, I like to play fast, so that kind of fits what the coaching staff is preaching here.
How important it is to your confidence to see a team that wants to take you back?
Yeah, man, it put a smile on my face, man, just to know that I can come here and be able to, fight for a spot and fight for some minutes again. I got to play a little bit last year. It helped me out a lot with my confidence, being able to go out there and play and get some minutes and get some film, which was what much needed for myself for the summer. And just all summer just been working, grinding, getting ready for the camp, getting ready for this season, just going out there and play as hard as I can.
And based on your experience in the league, is there personal elements to your game you put focus on and trying to improve and kind of extend and enlarge your toolbox that you bring?
Yeah, I think as I've years in the league, you got to figure out what your role is and what your niche is, and just stick with it and try and do it as best as you can. A lot of teams love my shooting, love my versatility, but something I got to improve is on the defensive end, and that's something I've been working on all summer. Just being able to put it all together. That comes with minutes, comes with reps, comes with watching a lot of film, studying a lot of tape, different guys around the league. So, those are some of the things I worked on a lot this summer. Just focusing more on the defensive end, trying to help the team be a better defensive team.
Kevin, speaking of putting it all together, you had 30, 11, 5 threes against the Clippers toward the end of the season last year. How much did that one game? How much did that do for your confidence?
It did a lot. The last 10 games actually did a lot for me, for my confidence, man. Just get out there and play again was just a lot of fun. You're just going out there, not really just going out there, just being myself. Chauncey let the young guys hoop at the end of the season, which did wonders for everybody. Just go out there and play their games. But I had a few good games in that last stretch of the season, and that gave me a lot of momentum going into the summer, a lot of confidence going into the summer. I think I was more motivated this summer than I ever been. Just be able to come back here, had a great last few games last year. Just be able to build on that and be able to come to the same front office, same organization that let me get a chance last season.
Kevin, you mentioned Scoot and being
Yep.
such a fast
Mhm.
player. What else has stood out to you during these runs in September?
Man, everyone's done, a little bit of everything. Scoot, he's super fast. He's, came in, his body looks good. He's strong. He's very mature for his age. Great basketball IQ. I think something that stood out with him is just his ability to, be able to be a pass-first guard. We all know he can score the ball. We all know he's explosive. But in the league, you got to be able to get guys open, be able to facilitate to your teammates, and that's something that stood out to me since day one. His ability to push the pace, get his own shot, and to be able to find the bigs, find the corner kickouts, find the other guys. So I think that'll be a huge step for him for his rookie year.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Appreciate it.
All right, folks, that wraps up Trailblazers Media Day. Thank you for coming.